Oh boy. It's a silent film today.
It's a dead air challenge.
That's right, dead air challenge. How can you
It's
be weird
amazing.
and creepy without
School of
saying
Mimes.
Got a lot of gravy on it tonight. It does.
Hello, welcome. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Superior Adventurers Guild. I am your host this evening, your dungeon master, Chad, aka Real SimG, aka North Shore DM. I'm not wearing my headband, but that's okay. It's wintertime. I can do whatever I want. It's a little chilly. I wear a hat. Anyway, welcome. Today we're playing our Midwinter Keening game, which I'm very excited to get back into. Dungeons and Dragons, Svilland, Viking dudes, mountains, cold, frozen, death by frostbite, all the fun times. My players are looking forward to it. I can tell. Let's see their faces so we can tell if they're really looking forward to it or if they're not. Yeah. Dave looks like he wants a biscuit.
Let's do it.
I know
We
why
are
I'm crazy. I got no
man.
excuse for anybody else tonight, though.
Just be happy, Chad, that your leg isn't right here because. No.
Did you say my lag? If my lag was there?
That's
Is that a
exactly what I
Wisconsin
said.
thing?
Leg. It was a leg.
Arrgh!
That's fair. That's fair. I deserve
Eggs. You like
that.
dogs? You like dogs? Yeah, I
They're
like
cat
dogs.
people. What I say?
I like Dex.
Let me ask you a question. Do
Oh,
cats hump
jokes.
legs?
Cats do a lot of things to legs. Humping is not among them, though.
See, there you go.
Yeah, I don't.
Compared to some of the scratches I have on my legs, I'd about
Yeah.
rather take the humping.
Scritching.
Would you know?
Hi, everybody.
This
Did I mention that we're live? Did I mention that we went live?
Yeah.
Mike's.
What?
Hot Mike. Happy
Hot
Valentine's
Mike.
Day.
We love you, Mike.
Hey, why don't you tell the kind folks out there who you are playing, and what you look forward to most over the next couple of sessions.
Mm.
I'm going to take notes so I know what not to do.
Oh, you bastard. I'll start. Hi, everybody. My name's Dave, and I am playing Vidar Gormson, a 5th level, they tell me, ranger, a Scotty ranger, which is a really rad, specific ranger archetype that was developed by the people who created Svilland. And I've been having a blast playing Vidar. He's been a very effective and fun character to play. Yeah, what am I looking forward to over the next couple sessions? I would say what I'm most curious to find out, hopefully some sort of a arc conclusion to, is Astrid's quest for this sword and what it all means. So yeah, I'm very curious about that.
Cool.
I don't know how to follow that one, but I'm gonna try. Hi, I'm Michael. I play Gunder, a 5th level ally of Thor, which is a paladin of Thor. Super excited to be here. Excited to have wailed on a ice worm for a little bit. As far as what I'm looking forward to in the next few sessions, I'm an old-fashioned kind of fella. I believe in old-fashioned values. Things like smiting your enemies, driving them before you, casting down their idols to their dark gods, and understanding that the love of Thor may be upon them, but it's tingly, and if they're dicks, it's gonna kill them.
Would you say that when somebody is touched by Thor, perhaps there are lamentations?
I don't know if when touched by Thor is necessarily lamentations, but I am of absolute certainty that lamentations are in the future for this game one way or the other.
And in the past, we could have just called this Midwinter Lamentations.
got a nice ring to it.
Very poetic.
A little wordy. little too many syllables.
Fair.
No such thing.
All right, who's next? I'll go next. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Andy. I'm playing Stig Egilson, 5th level Rune Walker, which is a wizard in our Svilland setting. And what am I looking forward to? New spells. As a wizard, I always look forward to picking out new spells. Leveling up. I want to find out what's in Fogbear's Ruin. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And of course, this quest for this stolen sword. What's that?
Cool. Hey everybody, I'm Ashley, and I am playing Astrid Bouldersdottir, and I am a cleric, a Gothi of Maine, and my patron is Balder, who is a little not there, I guess is the best way to say it. And I am excited to try to squish out as much backstory as I possibly can in the next several episodes.
Squish.
I swear I heard you say that I'm a priest of Maine, and my first thought is, does that mean you like can throw lobsters at people and have a weird accent that gives you divine power?
Summon lobster roll.
Oh yeah. So don't make me mad. The lobsters, they get all sort of clickety clackety this time of year.
Is that a Maine accent?
I don't know. I know like
It's like
Bahaba, but I don't know
There you
if
go,
that's
there's
the whole
one.
state.
Akyaka and Harvard Yard. That's how you do it.
There you go.
Yeah. Very nice.
Oh my, oh my.
Dead air challenge, go.
Hey, Cherry Thick.
Go.
Thanks for the follow.
Yeah, all right. We have things. I know what I'm doing here. Hey, let's talk about some announcements that we have. I have an announcement I'm very excited to share with you. I'm going to share a link right now. Boop, boop. Today, we are
Yeah.
we are officially bearers of publications. We have
Woo!
publicated. That's the right word, right?
Yep.
I didn't use
Just
an
keep
editor.
using that.
We have published our first adventure. It's a level 1 one-shot sort of guy. I'm super excited about it. It was a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully you can enjoy it if that's the kind of thing you're into, or find some small piece of in there that would be useful to you. Because if you can use something, then that's a win for me. Helping you out.
Congratulations,
anyway,
man. That's awesome.
I kind of worked on it through the Storytellers Storytelling Collective X RPG Writers Workshop. Write Your First Adventure workshop. It was great. It was all last month. So yeah, that's my big announcement. You can tell that I'm really excited by my face.
And how much does that adventure cost if somebody is like, I want to do that one shot?
If somebody wanted to pay for it, it would cost you $3.
Ooh, that's a steal.
Very
of a deal.
affordable.
You can't argue with that price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back and forth for maybe 10 minutes on how to price it, and I settled on $3.
Sounds
It's
like a tough
good.
decision.
Yeah. Pay what you want as a trap. If you're going to ever publish stuff, don't do pay what you want. It's a trap. $3 is good. Everything should be $3. No, that's not true. Anyway.
You heard it here, folks. Everything should
everything
be
is $3.
$3.
That's right. Lobster roll, $3. Anyway, I digress. Other cool things that we should talk about. Perhaps, Andy, you would like to explain how we can facilitate a good holiday gifting season for our viewers.
Well, I know I have one idea that is sure to make everybody happy this holiday season. That is to visit our merch store at TeePublic, pick up a t-shirt, pick up a onesie for that little one in your life.
Or
Pick
small
up
animal.
Or small animal. Yeah, same thing. Coffee mugs, stickers, totes. Let's get some wall art. You want like an 8-foot banner, Guild Superior banner to hang up in your bedroom?
Do I?
Mhm. We have that.
Now I do.
We have that.
Yep.
So, or you could like tie it to a flagpole on the back of your pickup truck and drive around town. You could do
I don't
that.
see why not.
Yeah.
That would be perfectly
seems classy.
acceptable this holiday season. So get your merch, support your local stream.
Yeah.
I think we get maybe a dollar or two per t-shirt, but it's pretty awesome. You might want to rethink that deal, but we'll get to it.
It's more than that.
Nobody
It's
ever tell
probably
the
more than
marketing guy how much we make. Good Lord.
No. Because then he'll tell the whole world on the internet.
Never. You're a magician, buddy. Never tell him how you do your magic tricks.
Yeah. Dave,
Hello.
do you have anything that you would like to share?
I do. I have a couple of things. First off, big thanks to Michael for taking us through the Isle of Endless Fog over the last couple of weeks on our Wednesday night stream. That was super fun. We wrapped that up last night. You can check it out VOD on our Twitch channel if you want to check out the finale. Spoiler alert, but there was a character death, and it was gruesome.
My only regret is I didn't get a chance to put as much gravy on it as I wanted to.
Oh, there was a whole gravy subplot that we didn't even barely get into, but we'll go back and do it some other time.
The subtext is there.
Yeah, exactly. Big shout out as well to our stream sponsors at DRS Publishing, the very creative folks who put together this world that we're playing in called Svilland. So thanks to them for creating this crazy shit that we're playing around with. And then finally, really excited about the return of our Saltmarsh campaign starting next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Come on over and check it out. We're jumping back into our 4th season of Beyond Saltmarsh. We've got some new stuff that we'll be doing this season, and I'm very excited to get back in the DM's chair and have some fun with my friends, my good buddies.
It's going to be
Yeah.
great, especially where we left that cliffhanger with Theo's ascent to godhood. How will the party undo that which hath been wrought?
Oh, I don't remember that part, but we'll figure it all out. We've got a week.
In the notes I handed you, you'll be fine.
That's perfect.
It'll be just like the
yeah.
movie Ravenous.
I am so ready to join Chaos Crew.
Mm-hmm.
With the
Well,
good
we're
buddies.
not. Okay, yeah, we are.
A little bit.
And we have a boat.
That's true. What's more chaotic than that? That's it, Chad.
true.
Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you. So it's been a couple of weeks. And I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Or whatever fall time holiday you might be celebrating around that time. But so let's do a little bit of a recap to find out just what sort of shenanigans are happening to our players. So the party has journeyed into the Molgoroth, the mountains, in search of the mountains north of the town that they live in search of some crystals that they can use to create an item that would allow them to find and pass into and around Fogbear's village, which is where they know that I guess the big bad is gonna be. They have to go there to get him. And so they've gone in search of the right kind of crystal. They encountered some, Yetis, some special Yetis up on the top of a mountain, in a pass, on like a big rock bridge. There was a fight. There was some slippage. It was very precarious, but they overcame these Yetis. It was pretty rad. Andy was very scared for Stieg falling hundreds of feet to his death, which, I get that.
We all
that
were.
makes sense. Yeah. And then they took a little bit of a rest in the lee of a cliff, and continued on. They followed these little like trail markers that kind of marked the path to this place where they were going, as it is feasibly some kind of special place, as they may find out or have found out or whatever, or maybe they're just getting it now because I just said so, but it's a special place. That it didn't have as much snow on the ground. There was like weird little glitter in the air. It was pretty cool. And there's these big kind of crystal outcrops, and they kind of crept along. They found some skeletons and some bodies in the snow, and they found some like ruined pillars, and then there was a disembodied voice that challenged initially Vidar, and was like, hey, what are you doing here? You're not wanted here. Go away. And then people were like, oh, but we're here doing this thing. I'm like blah 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 from blah 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 God. And then he was like, oh no, motherfucker, I'm mad now. And erupted.
He wasn't too impressed.
No, he was I had like a list of like how it could go, and you immediately chose the aggravate him answer by bringing up the gods.
We chose death.
By bringing up the ace here. And he had this giant like ice worm appeared with one like out of the base of one of these large crystal outcroppings. This crystal outcropping was kind of growing out of its back, and it assaulted them and did some really rad stuff. They fought back and did some equally rad stuff, things like fire spells. Did you actually use a fireball? Because that's what's in the notes here. Was there?
No, it was probably a chromatic orb.
Oh yeah, chromatic orb.
With
yeah,
There were
Fire
lots
set
of
to
balls
fire.
of fire, though.
Yep.
Yes, there was
a lot of damage from fire spells. Vidar jumped onto this thing's back, and rode it like he was Muad'Dib, except for it wasn't like a mutual thing. It was just like I'm gonna ride you like a bronco and then stab you to death.
This has gone weird again.
Yeah, and then you did a bunch of damage to it, and it burrowed into the ground. Vidar was able to leap from its back as it burrowed and kind of escaped a bit, leaving a kind of whole depression in the ground. Pieces of this crystal are kind of littering the ground there. Oh, I wonder if I have a. Ooh, do I have a? I think I have something for this. Ooh, give me one sec. sec. Do. Hard assets, tokens. Nope. Map kit. Yep. Oh, there we go. I knew it. Check this out.
What are we looking at,
Ooh.
Chad?
Oh, there. Perfect.
Oh shit, it's a hole.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a wormhole.
I have a creator token.
I mean, if we're breaking into a DS9 game here, I call dibs on Garrick.
Nice. Yeah. So this worm burrowed into the ground at a high rate of speed, attempting to take out Gunder, but Gunder resisted that. Vidar, you were able to die from its back, and a number of pieces of this crystal have broken off. Ignore that there's a big throne right here. That's not really there.
Sure.
That's why it was being covered up. That was on the map originally. But yeah. So yeah. Gunder, you're in initiative order.
Well, seeing as the giant crystal cluster is no longer there, and not wanting to go near the frozen throne, because I remember that expansion for World of Warcraft, it didn't end well. Gunder's going to back away, say 10 feet from the hole, and take up a defensive stance, perhaps taking so that he might, not be et when it comes back up.
Okay. Astrid.
Okay. I am going to move towards the hole, but I want to be on the opposite side. And I'm going to also move my spiritual weapon over there, which I believe is still happening.
Yep.
So I'll move my
Spiritual
bloody spiritual weapon. It's not really bloody. It's a giant blue sword that is impossibly huge and spectral. And we're going to go over there and we are going to, I guess I can't move and hold action, can I? So I am going to.
You can. So held action would be, would be an action that you would then use your reaction to trigger when the trigger happens.
Okay. Then I will hold an action. If it comes back through, I am going to try to cast my divinity feature.
Oh.
If it's within 30 feet of me.
Okay. Very well. And then Stieg.
I'm gonna look around. Do I see any outcroppings of this crystal near me? Where's like the closest one I could get to?
Well, so there's the two that are left on the map. So there's the one that's on the same level as you, the smaller one.
Okay.
Right by this waterfall. There we go. And then there's this bigger one kind of above you on a cliff. But then there's also there's some decent sized chunks of crystal that have shattered as it burrowed into the ground, kind of littering the rim of this depression.
Okay. I'm going to
as well.
Well, I don't want to get too close to that hole, but I want to try to go gather up some of the crystal.
Okay. Yeah. you're able to gather
See, I'll move to maybe up by Gunder.
3 good-sized chunks.
Right. And then I will say, I have some of the crystal. I think we should go.
Do you have enough of the crystal?
Well, how many medallions do we need to make?
4.
Do I have 4 medallions worth? And maybe enough to make another bead?
Another what?
A small crystal bead.
Oh. Let's say, yeah, pew pew pew. Give me what tools are you proficient in?
I think it's just my rune
Just-
carvers.
Just
tools.
rune carvers.
Let me
Give
just
me a
double check.
rune carver
Yeah.
check.
Rune scribing tools.
Yeah, give me a. We'll call it intelligence.
Okay.
Ooh,
That's how you fucking do it,
nice.
Sigsy.
Ooh,
Ah.
+4. +4 for intelligence.
Yeah, you would say that is in your estimation, as long as like the process, there's like one of these that you could probably get 2 out of. You could like fucking split it essentially.
Mhm.
And as long as that went well, you would have enough for 4. If it doesn't go well, you might break it. No, you can't climb up there, Mace Window.
Can't tell Mace
Uh,
Window what he can and can't do.
Mace Window, you can't fly with only one arm.
Only the Emperor can tell him that.
So yeah, does that answer your question?
Sure. I think I have just enough to make 4. We could
Okay.
grab some more if we wanted to be safe.
Should,
Right at the. Oh, go ahead.
should we go then?
I don't think we need to kill this thing.
No, I would rather leave its domain.
I'm a little messed up.
Retreat to the field, and I will cover your exit.
At the as that round ends, and feasibly a new round is beginning, you are all struck by arrows from hidden archers. No, not really. By the let's say, hang on. Let me back up. The ground seems to attempt to strike you as it begins to shake and heave. Please, everybody, make dexterity saving throws.
Yikes.
18.
18,
Ooh.
nice. Gunder.
Jesus.
Stig.
Total of 6.
I got also a 6. Yay, we're buddies.
20.
You
Um,
watery tart.
Stig and Gunder, you each take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as the ground rises up to meet you, or rather, you dip down to meet the ground with your faces, and are knocked prone as essentially as like a localized earthquake happens and things start to shake. There's a tree falls over. There's massive crashing as large chunks of ice from these waterfalls like break and fall.
Gundar is dead.
No, you're
Kidding. I'm
not.
kidding.
Okay.
He has a weakness to bludgeoning damage. Hasn't come up yet, but
Nice.
I assume we are
Um,
also the game definition of prone. Yes.
Yes, yeah, you're prone. What would you like to do? We're gonna go a little more freeform on the initiative order. So I will just ask the lot of you what you would like to do.
I would like to stand up and run away.
Can I tell how far, like, can I kind of pinpoint where it is underneath the rubble?
What is?
The creature is, or it's just everything shaking, can't really tell.
Yeah, it's more of it's less of an effect from burrowing, because this is a lot of solid rock here. Sort of, so it's not like Tremors where you can kind of see the lump as you go, right?
Sure.
But this is more of an earthquake.
Yeah.
Mechanically, not unlike, say, a lair action, right?
Vidar is going to run forward and help Stieg up, grab whatever the pack is that he was filling with crystals, and start to hurry him off towards the south.
Kind of back the way you came.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say that the two of you can get to, like, we'll call it grabbing Stieg. You can make it like halfway down those stairs there.
We've got to go now. Come, Stieg. Come on.
Don't need to tell me twice.
Duty Mick Allah, if you will, is going to cover their escape and just kind of move behind them. So should it explode behind them and not in front of them, it'll be in his face, not everyone else's.
Astrid will make sure he's coming before she actually heads out. She doesn't like the idea of leaving anyone behind.
Makes sense. Yeah. And then you two just kind of start retreating back to where you came. Okay. Why don't everybody give me one more of those dexterity saving throws?
Well, hey, that's a hot 13. I'll take it.
That's a lot
15.
better.
An 8.
Ugh,
Actually, a total 9.
9. Astrid, what's your total?
Matters.
8.
8. All right. Stieg, you and Astrid. So hang on, real quick. Vidar, are you still helping Stieg along?
Yes.
Stieg, go ahead and roll with advantage.
Oh yeah, 16.
All right.
There we go.
Stieg, you kind of are uneasy a bit, but Vidar is helping you along. Astrid, however, you find yourself laying in the snow and rock, and take 6 damage as it greets your face.
Oh, man. Ugh.
In response to that, Gundar is going to straight up just kind of step over, pick up Astrid, not like help her to her feet, like straight up pick up like a sack of potatoes and carry her back.
Nice. And and then you are able to escape kind of down out of this area fairly quickly. You can hear like as you kind of, what we could say, cross the threshold, there's definitely a place where you're in this area, and then there's definitely a place where you are not in this area, where you can feel the cold and the wind again. to the extent that you did before. And you probably get down a bit beyond that, and you hear some more rumblings, some more of these tremors happen. But you kind of looking, and then where you're at, you are able to tell that it's not happening anywhere else, just in there. Yeah, and there you go. You've solved my isoworm puzzle.
The solution was violence.
And running.
Run away.
First one, then the other.
So here you are, high in the Molgoroth, wounded, feasibly, some of you. You have a number of these crystals. What do you want
Gunder
to do?
will look to Vitter and go, Vitter, are you well enough to perhaps find us a better place where we could set up some tents in the lee of a stone?
I think I'm grinding away at a piece of the crystal, just like a small piece, with a rock, and I'm just saying, I think I have something for us. Just yeah, we need a good spot though.
Yes, of course.
Maybe one where a worm won't come up underneath it. Or tents.
It's easy. Most of this is bedrock.
Yeah, give me a survival roll, Vidar.
19.
No, 19.
That's okay. You could do better,
Yeah,
but
I
it's still
could.
pretty good.
Yeah, you kind of travel on, and you cross that ravine again where you fought the Yetis, and kind of just below that you find a pretty good spot with there's like an overhang. It's not not a full-on cave, but there's like an overhang, and it's out of the wind, and you're able
Get a
to
fire started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find a good spot and start ritual casting Liamon's tiny hut.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Pro gamer move that,
Very
bro.
nice.
Pro gamer move.
Salmon's tiny hut.
Nice. It's like a miniature longhouse.
Yeah, what does it look like?
It looks exactly like the inside of Salmon's hut.
Just shit everywhere.
Just like
dirty.
Samon's in there.
Does it smell like his hut
Never
too?
mind, I will
Yep.
sleep in a tent.
Sweat and old
kind
man
of dingy,
farts.
hasn't been cleaned thoroughly for decades. No. It's the same thing.
Describe it. I don't
Nice.
remember how this shit works.
Well, I don't happen to have all my spell cards with me tonight, but I will look it up.
Gotta know how to hold them and know when to fold them. And by that I mean your spells.
Oh, I thought we were going to die there.
We still
So-
might, don't worry.
10-foot radius immobile dome of force springs into existence around and above me and remains stationary for the duration. The spell ends if I leave its area. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with me. The spell fails if its area includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures. Everybody can move through it freely except me, because then it'll fail. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry regardless of the weather outside. Until the spell ends, you can command the interior to become dimly lit or dark. The dome is opaque from the outside, any color you choose, but it is transparent from the inside.
Nice.
So I'm going to make it white, just blend in
Clutch.
with the snow.
Is anyone injured?
I would like to
I am.
begin casting Prayer of Healing
Yes.
at level
you.
3 because I don't have any level 2s left. So Astrid says, can we all sit in a circle, and she's gonna grab hands with the person on the left of her and the person on the right, and she's gonna begin to cast a spell that takes 10 minutes. And it heals everybody. Where is my stuff? Okay. So everybody will take 3d8. And I think you want me to roll that, right?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 11 hit points.
Nice.
Really? Like 3d8 and I get 11?
Do you get anything for upcasting it?
That's what I got for upcast.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah, you
11
get
just the
extra
roll, or
d8s.
is that plus whatever?
Actually, let me hold on. Oh wait, plus my spellcasting modifier. Let me go.
What, 15 maybe?
Hey, that's pretty good for
Just
Steve.
an extra 4 points. So,
So 15.
15.
Nice. Thank you
That-
very much.
That
healing.
tops me up.
There we go.
While that has all happened, Gundar is ritually casting Warm for the first fucking time since fall ended. Because, yeah, you have to imagine, like, in the depths of winter, this spell is the best thing ever. It's warmer than a longhouse.
What spell?
Warm.
Gundar is just enjoying being warm.
Oh.
I could say straight up, I'm taking my boots off and just, this is the best magic I have ever encountered.
This is very nice, Stieg.
Stieg just says from inside the dome, "You can come in now. You can walk right through it."
I'm literally standing right next to you.
Oh,
We are all in here. We have held our
Yeah.
hands and we are getting the
Who
healing.
else is coming? Are you inviting more friends?
I got confused. Sorry.
Those Yetis show up. They have hot cocoa.
They can't come.
See, they weren't all bad.
You can't
trick or
sit with us.
treat. Um,
So, Stieg, I have an important. Have you been able to do this the whole time?
No, not really. I know of this spell from Svilland, but until I went to, he never really showed me how to do it, and it wasn't until I went to Gurney's and saw how she was using the crystal and how the crystal was combined with runes made it protective. I was able to figure out how Svilland was doing it all this time.
All that matters is this is glorious magic, and I
It's
am.
pretty nice, right?
Oh,
What do we
Oh,
do
yeah.
with these crystals now, Stieg?
I need to start making medallions for all of us.
How long will that take, and do you need special equipment to do this?
I mean, I think I can do it with my tools I have, but it's going to probably take a while. Well, actually, if I made one that was like Gurney's, wouldn't it protect like a radius?
mhm.
So I guess we wouldn't technically need 4 if we stayed close together.
Just make a really, really good one.
I could try that.
Do we do that
Yeah.
now, or do we wait till we descend the mountains?
I think
Yes,
we
we'll
should do it
start
now
now.
because once we leave these mountains, there is no telling what will happen.
That's so true.
What time is it? Is it
Probably towards the end of the day. I don't really remember. So we'll say it's towards the end of the day.
Well, I am exhausted and I am all beaten up, and like scratches and blood, and I would love to take a rest.
Oh, you mentioned being all beat up and goes, Gundar goes, oh, yeah, apologies. And he just reaches over and gives you 10 more hit points.
Oh, well, I feel loads better now.
It's good we brought a healer.
Oh, I maxed out.
It's like a magic energy drink now. You're wired. You got to do laps around the hut.
Be right
Not a
back.
monster, is it? It's not a monster.
No, it's more of a ghost.
So I guess depending on how long it would take me to do it, I would try to do it tonight or before I go to sleep.
It,
Or would
hang on,
it
give me
be
a-
something I need to dedicate like hours to?
Do you have
give
what
me
you
one.
need?
I mean, yeah. Give me
Like
one
tools?
sec.
Or do you not need tools?
Well, I have my rune scribing tools.
Mm.
And I was able to make the one at Gurney's house with those tools.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go.
And I could assist him with guidance, like I did before. Oak guidance.
And I can give him sartorial advice as he does it. I've got nothing.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it would probably take you. A couple of hours of work, perchance, up to 8 hours of work. Say if you wanted to make, if you wanted to try to make like a bigger one, you have like a nice. You have one chunk that's a nice, good, big size. You could, if you wanted to try to make a larger one to offer, say, more area, you could attempt to do that, which would take a little longer. But
So would it be better for us to sleep and then you wake up and you work on this? Or would it be better for you to work in the nice warm hut and then you would have to sleep outside in the cold?
Like when we're traveling or?
Well-
yeah, because the hut would fail. I could always cast it again.
The ritual
Mhm.
spell, you can just re-up it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
I guess it just depends on how long we want to stay here.
I do not want to stay here any longer than we have to, so we should decide if we intend to create this item here or at lower elevation and away from the yetis and the Isa worms.
Well, I think we're safe here, and it might have greater effects on things more than just that Fogbear's village. So, the sooner the better.
How far are we? Do we know how far away from Fogbearers we are?
let us.
My GPS says we're 26 miles.
Recalculating.
Oh, nope. Apparently there's a bridge
that's
out
not
because the
it.
trolls are on strike.
Hang on. I don't. That's right. I redid this, so I do not have. Let's here. Let me just do this. Since
It
this
wants
is
me
a
to drag an
J-
image as background. Oh, hey, that's a big old map.
Booyah.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
see
so-
things.
So Fogbearers Village is so we're top kind of right corner of the map. Fogbearers Village is roughly where it says it is there. And y'all are roughly in like on the right there.
Hmm.
So that's several days, if not a week of travel.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be less outside of the mountains, but being in the mountains that makes travel a little more extra.
If we go back down and travel along the foothills.
That is the safest route.
Be a lot more comfortable.
Perhaps we stay here tonight and we continue our work during the day, and Speak, will you be able to work on the item during the evenings?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I'll hold off on doing it tonight.
So yeah, you rest up, do a long rest. Nothing assails you here in Samon's hut.
Still feels weird hearing that.
Yeah. And it is a wonderful time.
And we have all of our pulks and gear that we've been traveling with.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
And so the next day you rise. It's brisk. And windy and, normal high elevation wintertime shenanigans. There's a bit of cloud cover below you, so you've got a kind of a cool morning view.
I love those inversions. Well, up and out we go.
So your plan is to travel downslope?
Basically retrace our steps back down to the foothills and then head towards Fog Bears.
Okay. You begin to make your way downslope, retracing the kind of the trail that the path that you took up, and really maybe only about midday of this first day has passed, and Astrid, if you could make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Ooh. Yeah.
What's the total?
So con, that's strength, correct? Or
It's a separate ability.
Constitution.
oh, sorry.
Yep.
Man, where's con?
It's in your saving throws.
Why am I not finding it at all? Oh, okay. Yep. +1. 9.
9. Okay. You feel it's like an off, maybe a little off day. You don't feel 100%, right? You just got in a big fight, high altitude always makes people weird. And maybe around midday you start to feel a little extra wonky. It's a technical term, wonky. And your vision kind of goes whoop whoop. You get like the
Tunnel vision?
the tunnel vision a bit, and it kind of clears. You feel a bit queasy, and you do a little spewage.
I
When
don't feel
she-
good.
Are you
When she
okay?
vomits, would Vidar know like what might be afflicting her based on his experiences in these types of locales?
Sure. So, yeah, give me we'll say, because what's your favorite terrain again?
My favorite terrain is Forest.
Forest.
Yep.
How does that work again? What does that all do?
A bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I miss the city.
It's going to be okay. We just need to get out
I
of
don't
this.
like camping.
We're just gonna kind of sit Astrid down, give her some water. Also try and figure out what's going on with the power of a medicine check.
We should keep moving.
Yeah,
moment.
Vidar, go ahead and make a, let's call it a survival roll. That'll work. Oh, me.
25.
Could be like, you know, mountain sick, whatever they would call it, mountain sickness.
MS, baby.
Um,
I assure you, Gundar, stopping will not help. We need to get her to lower elevation. I've seen this before.
as they're kind of talking about this, Astrid, your vision goes away.
Oh,
It goes dark.
do I pass the F out?
No, you
Oh,
are
okay.
you are completely conscious, and you feel a tug, it you know, in your belly, almost like you were, you know, like when you drop in altitude really fast, like at the fairgrounds.
Like
You're
my stomach drops out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
I can't use words. And you see your vision kind of comes back, but it's not like your vision. It's different. It's
Oh.
different vision. And you see a kind of snowy, rocky outcrop, and you see a massive pillar connected to a cliff by chains, and a anvil and forge upon the top of the pillar. And you know that such a place is perhaps in an area that would be like over here on a map. Were this a map and not just a picture of a mountain?
Okay. So I'm getting a vision of a place I've not been before, but I know where, like, how to get there. Kind
Yeah, you have like a distinct impression that that is a place, and that is over in that area.
Can I do an insight check to whether this is a good place to go, a bad place to go? Is something like luring us there that's evil,
Sure.
or is this
Nice.
like a divinity thing? Like, oh, go here.
Yeah, give me an insight roll. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. You're
Do I
gonna
smell
love
a
this too. No, so it's not a 6. It is a 20. Sorry, no, it's a 14.
14. Nice. Yeah. You
Insight.
you don't get a sense necessarily of like this place is like good or bad in that way. You do get the sense of of need backed by anguish, which is a way that I would say that it comes from somebody who is in anguish
Okay.
and pain.
mm.
If you catch my drift.
Yeah. So I feel like somebody needs our, I mean, I get what you're saying, but that somebody needs our help, or it's just has that aura of Baldur around it.
It could be that it is. You didn't roll high enough.
Damn it.
But it is a familiar pain that you
Get a
feel.
vibe.
Okay. Can I tell any details? Any other details about this place? Like, is there a path? Are there any people there? Figures?
Sure.
Anything that
Give
stands
me-
out
you know,
odd?
Let's do this. Make a like a spellcasting ability check.
Okay.
As you are kind of experiencing this and attempting to foment your will upon it.
So like a attack or like just my modifier?
It would be the same as an attack roll.
Okay. Then that is 13 plus 6. Can't math.
I suppose I should call that
19.
a
19.
spellcasting skill check instead of an ability check. Yeah. So 19?
Yes.
Yeah, you see this, and there this, you see this place, and there is you start to feel like a series of heartbeats, like boom 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 boom, and when the heartbeat goes, when it goes boom boom, your vision kind of goes red a bit, the scene kind of goes red, and you kind of between beats, you see some other images kind of superimposed in this image. You see a camp of people. You see a man with a blue sword. You see a Jotun in chains. And you see oh wow, my brain. Hang on, give me a sec. I gotta
See his
you
brain.
see go up to the top.
I see into his brain.
That's
Yeah, I see
terrifying.
His think meats
yeah.
are all gray though. It's just that's it.
It's,
That doesn't help.
Oh. Yeah, you see a kind of crippled looking Dvergar pounding at this anvil.
Okay. Do I recognize anybody? I'm guessing the guy with, well, do I recognize anybody? Do I recognize the guy with the blue sword?
You do. You have what a person would call a unhealthy relationship with that person.
Is he somebody I saw murder some of my friends and or family?
It could be that is the sort of thing. That's where you know each other. You went to certain events together.
Bumped into each other at the
Yeah.
big old murder.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recognize anybody else?
It's hard to get. You're not really able to make out any of the other people in a real way.
Sure.
You think that because of your connection with this guy, like everybody else just kind of looks like out of focus a bit. Other than that guy, and then in the short pieces of like scene that you see with this Vargar, you can see you don't know this guy, but you're able to see him.
Do I get a feeling of any particular deities off anybody in particular? Like, this person reminds me of hell. This person, is a Balder, or, that kind of stuff.
There's as you kind of think about that, there is something else there, but it is obfuscated, occluded.
Ooh. It's hiding from my vision.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. Fair.
What do you do? This all happens in like a minute.
Yeah. How far away or close am I? Am I like walking among them, or am I like, like seeing through a telescope, or?
Sure. Yeah, it's like, it's like video game cutscene kind of thing. Like you see this, like you see this. Yeah, you see the kind of scene image, from like almost from like high up, and then kind of as you see these flashes of people and things, you're a little closer. There's some panning of the camera around.
Can I
but
tell?
it doesn't feel like it's not like you're seeing through somebody, through somebody's eyes. It's more of a cinematic style of visual that you get.
Sure. Can I tell like a good way to approach the camp from the series of cut shots? Or a path in, or like,
Sure. I'll give you one more roll. We'll call it like a nature roll. Give me a nature check.
Okay.
That nature shit, yo.
Give me the nature shit.
9.
Yeah, it's hard to say. The edges of kind of the scene are kind of begin to lose focus, and you are kind of, your vision clears. Gundar and Vidar are Vidar is explaining to Gundar the how altitude sickness works.
And I really
It
think
sounds
we
like
should
witchcraft to me.
And I really think we should take her down slope as quickly as we can. Astrid, are you with us still?
We put her in one of the...
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can
Doesn't
hear
look
you.
Good.
Oh, I think I just had a vision.
What
A
happened?
vision?
Yeah, I was here, and then everything went dark, and I explained to them like flashes of what I saw. I think we need to go there. Someone...
If a god has given you a vision, it is unwise to ignore it. Yes.
Someone needs us there, and not just Balder, I believe.
Did they show you how to get there from here?
No. But
yeah, kind of where you have like
I know kind of where it is.
Yeah, you would be able with Vidar's help, the two of you would be able to like lead you all there, sort of thing.
Gunder just kind of reaches over and puts a hand on Astrid's shoulder and goes, well, then we will go there. And he spends 5 points of his lay on hands to cure a disease just in case there's any lingering effects from what she just had happen.
Your cancer is gone now.
Yay!
Sweet. Nobody likes the big K.
No more MS.
Yeah, paladins in a real world scenario are terrifying as a concept. What? Yeah, no more Parkinson's. Enjoy that.
Aw. Yeah. And I am pretty sure that I recognize the man who has my sword.
Sword was there.
Oh, then we have to go there. We need
You
to.
must.
Yes. Well, do I feel well enough to travel?
Yeah,
Okay.
After like a few moments, the kind of queasiness passes, and yeah, you're right as rain.
Filled with
Ish.
vengeance.
She looks pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is this thing called therapy. We do not have time for that. This is a close second.
We must all be comfortable with the fact that we are prolonging what must be done with Mavnus. I am okay with it, but
Here's the thing, my friend. I believe this is all connected. If the sword is there, I do not, and we have been sent a vision of it, must believe that the sword is eventually bound for Fogbear to be a tool for Mavnus in whatever rite he is doing. So I believe, I have no other reason to support this, of course, but I believe that by denying our enemy a weapon and taking it for ourselves, we will, in fact, be doing ourselves a boon when we come to Fogbear.
Now,
there is no debate on whether or not we follow this vision. We must, but it may mean that when we arrive, the machinations of this Mavnus could be much more powerful. It will be more dangerous.
Then so will we.
If
Agreed.
Baldur says that I need to go there, there must be a reason.
Yeah, never
This-
question a guy who's literally in hell.
Just ends poorly. He's very angry.
Does anyone does the pillar with the chains and the anvil, like, does that ring a bell for anyone else?
Does anyone
Does
have
it?
any reason to know about that their character would know about Vergar stuff?
Oh, I can speak Vergar.
I mean,
So
I'll
I
give you that, Stieg. Stieg, give me I'm gonna make it difficult. And by difficult I mean I'm just gonna make it disadvantage. So give me a disadvantage, we'll say history check.
Okay.
and I would say that Gunder traveled a lot during his apprenticeship. So there's always a chance he's heard something like that, but it would be like roll a 20, get a 20, basically.
So that would be a 7.
So
Oh.
so you know that kind of the base lore about the Dvergar is that at one point in time they could travel there were ways between where they came from, Svartalfheim. Oh man, these are the things I really feel like I should really say, like, yes, I specifically remember
Sounds
this.
right.
And Midgard, and Svilland here, right? And sometime during, I believe, around the time of the throwing down of the Cedar Council, that these gates were broken, and a number of Dvergar are essentially trapped. An entire population of Dvergar are trapped in Svilland. And so they had for a long time a number of kind of holds in Emir's Lash, and have since kind of scattered around. So it stands to reason that they could have some kind of crazy shit, because they could build like outlandish things as dimensional travelers. So if anybody's going to have some kind of crazy giant pillar forge anvil thing, it's going to be Vergar. But you're not really like, this isn't specifically something you're like, that was another secret thing I knew about this whole time. That was right here in our neighborhood.
All right. Well, let's go rescue some people, maybe. Or people like people.
Awesome. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll get into that.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we will be back in 10 minutes. Re-strengthen your bodies and your spirits. You can check out a kind of dark revelry on DriveThruRPG. I wrote it with the help of my friends. We published it. If you think that our party may need your assistance in the future,
Definitely
there's some bits. I guarantee you that they're gonna need some. They're gonna need something. You can give bits for things like advantage and luck points. So consider those things while you break and refresh yourself. We'll see you in 10 minutes.
We'll be back.
I'll be back. Yar. Avast. Oh wait, that's a different game. Hello, welcome back, everyone. I hope you have refreshed, got a snack, got a drink, used the facilities, done whatever you needed to do, and you're not back with us. Thank you. So you you have had a vision. You have
Vomited on the mountain.
Vomited on a mountain. You have a new ish sub goal, sort of.
20,000 subs this month?
20,000 subs. Yes.
Yes, that's a reasonable goal for us.
When we get 20,000 subs, I will
Someday.
stream
Hey, we got
for
one today.
24
Cherry
hours
Thick
straight.
joined us today, so that's pretty sweet.
Dave, you're
we're
muted.
we're
Can't
off
wait.
to a
Heard it
great
here,
start.
kids.
We are.
We got one today. Cherry Thick. He's
Hey.
looking at you,
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
We're well on our way.
So yeah, you have Astrid, you have you can feel like we'll say it's like a heartbeat, like a second heartbeat in your heartbeat when
I have arrhythmia.
when when you're kind of looking in the right direction, when you're going the right way, you have a way that you can kind of feel where
Ugh,
where to go. Yeah.
That is unsettling. But I think that way.
Great.
Scarpy.
Let's do it.
As we're walking along, I will I'll try to lighten the mood. And I will turn to Gunder and I'll say, I wanted to thank you for, when you threw me over your shoulder and then carried me out of the worm pit thing. Thank you.
Well, it was a worm pit. Probably best not to tarry there longer than necessary. For the record, and he kind of looks around conspiratorially and leans in. That was terrifying.
It was terrifying. Have you ever seen a creature like that before?
No. No, I have not.
I just hope we can wrap this up and maybe we can not be constantly chased by monsters and have the undead coming for us. Like kind of how it was, before.
Gunder actually laughs a little bit. It's like, I have been up to these mountains several times following such things for people who've come through the village, yes?
You've been following the undead through the mountains?
No, of the things I do sometimes to keep the house up, since one man can only farm so much, is I do when, companies come through or small groups of, they call themselves adventurers, suppose. They go looking for things in the north in the ruins. I've gone with them for pay.
Oh, so you've been like a tour guide.
Oh, I never guide them. That is folly. I have merely been there to support.
A mercenary.
Carry them out of worm pits.
Oh. So what kinds of things did you see on your mercenary trips?
Draugr. That I had seen those before. Usually old traps, things both ensorcelled and mortal that have been left behind to keep people away. A few less savory things best unspoken of, but always they stayed well away from the town, and that was what made it a bit more sufferable. If you go looking for trouble, you deserve what happened. This is different.
So you think it's gotten much worse, hasn't it?
Oh yes, this is not normal. This is not a normal winter in Molgor. Which is the point where he stops and actually looks around and goes, Thor's beard, I really am the oldest person here, aren't I?
Well, yes.
No, it just struck me. Sorry.
So I wanted to ask, so we were talking before that you were married and then you were not with her anymore. Do you not miss her, or do Allah of Thor's not believe in marriage? Which is totally fine, because I understand, because Faceless don't believe in marriage either. So I wouldn't judge her or anything.
She was on the other side of the world. I do not know if she even survived the raid that I was taken in. And my life has changed. My home is here.
So you think she's dead? Well...
I do not know, and I try not to think about it too much.
If I knew what she looked like, maybe I could message her, but I'm not sure if I could.
That sounds like a uniquely terrible idea.
We're going to call Gunder's wife? Is that what you said?
We are not
Really?
doing that.
I can imagine it now. Hello, this is Gunda's friend. Are you dead?
If she is not, that might perhaps kill her of a heart attack, or at least drive those around her to believe she is possessed and get her burned at a stake.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
really good.
Magic has its uses, but it must be used carefully, lest it cause more trouble than it conjures on its own.
The chat wants you to message her so bad. Thank you, Cherry Thick.
If I knew what she looked like.
Yeah.
I've never met
Sub-
her though.
Subplot. The party goes to hell to find Kunder's wife.
Such that dead lady.
Depends how long this campaign goes.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
perhaps we
yeah.
can talk about literally anything else. I will talk about Draugr or infernal beings, everyone's favorite porridge, my cat. You can hear about my cat.
Oh, please tell us about your cat.
Not again, Gunder. Always with your cat. We get it. It's a lovely cat.
Don't want any more cat stories.
It
You
is a
are
good
all-
story.
Fine. Then you all come up with something to distract from this ludicrous line of talk.
I'm trying to keep my mind on the pathway through this crazy mountainscape. It's
Speaking of
terrifying.
which, if you could give me an advantaged survival roll as you kind of following Astrid's feeling as you kind of pick your way.
How about a
Oh,
natural
yeah.
20 for
Yeah,
a total of 28?
Oh,
28.
That'll do it.
You make
wow. 20, 20, 20, 20,
you make your way
Yeah.
pretty great. You find some really good paths down. You kind of luck out and find like a shortcut, a mountain shortcut, which, as everyone knows, usually mountain shortcuts end up where everyone dies. Usually they're not good, but this one was great. It was really good. And yeah, it's travel in that way is going great. It'll take like leaving in the morning, as you did, it kind of another day after the end of that day of travel to find where you would be at this place.
To be fair, this is going much better than I anticipated. Perhaps, Gunder, we could hear the story of your cat.
You just made it clear you did not attempt this story. How about, would you like to hear the story about the one time harpies fell upon us as we made through a pass in the Molgoroth?
Astrid looks up
Harpies?
like, oh god.
I do not think that's possible.
Harpies.
And it turns out
Harpies around here.
It is foretold that there are mountain alpine lakes around which creatures of winged persuasion will lure people to them to bathe in their crisp, clean waters. And
are you thinking of the troll vibes or the snow maidens?
The
I do
Irish.
not know the difference.
Well, from what I've seen, and it turns out Gunder has an entire collection of no shit there I was stories from like crazy times he's been hauled out by people looking to go into the ruins outside of Molgor, and he's kind of gone as well, I'm the one guy who will keep you from dying probably. So you get an interesting selection of, oh no, He's got a lot of weird experiential knowledge about stuff. You're like, oh, I didn't know that about a troll wife. Wow, lack of back. That's really weird.
Gundar does have the best stories, don't you think? Although, it does indicate that he is very, very old.
Didn't you call me a troll wife when we first met?
Ooh.
I was checking to see that you are not a troll wife, because they often appear as young, attractive women with blonde hair.
Ooh.
And everyone knows that if asked, if you ask a troll wife if she is a troll wife, she's obligated to tell you.
Like
Gundar
a vegan?
seems to think they work by
Everybody knows
fairy
that.
rules.
Yeah,
He may be
knowledge.
wrong.
That's totally obvious.
Yeah, it's like troll wives and undercover cops.
Right.
Well, he wasn't going to ask if she was a narc. That just seemed rude.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Having you all around kind of reminds me of growing up with all my brothers.
That sounds about accurate, yes. I do not have any brothers. I had a sister who, still lives in town. She's much meaner than you.
I don't know. She's always nice to me.
Well, she's gotten better. I believe the phrase I would use is little fucking hellions to each other when we were younger.
That makes sense.
And then after I got back, she thought I was dead, so we were all happy to see each other, and it's been better ever since. Plus, the nieces and nephews are fond of me. Probably because I do their chores for them.
Well, we must be sure then, Gundar, that we return from this journey so that you can be with your family again.
I have every intent of doing so.
Yes.
And also making sure each and every one of you makes it back. Even Stieg, which, speaking of, if you ever need someone to live, Stieg, that is not Sayman's hut, you saw I have plenty of room in the longhouse. As long as you do not burn it down.
I don't know that my hut is pretty comfortable. It's always the perfect temperature. I can make it whatever
smell.
color I want.
Are you planning on living out of your ensorcelment for the rest of your life?
I'll think about it.
You don't have to pay taxes on it.
It's a mobile home.
I can move it around. Like one day I can sleep over here, and the other day I can sleep right here.
It's down by the river.
I could, yeah.
Sleeping in the middle of
dome,
town.
Down by the river.
Definitely.
Down by the river. You know it.
Oh,
It's the equivalent of a van by the river.
man, I really hope that there is a wizard painted on the side of your tiny hut.
Good times.
Oh, Shai Halud, come, icy Shai Halud, come eat us now, because it's not getting better.
So you travel on like this, and have a night, for another kind of day. Ultimately, like a day and like 3/4. You probably, a day and a half. You probably traveled. You traveled about a half a day when you had your vision, and then kind of reacquiring, and then finding the shortcut. You cut a bunch of time off, and so it takes you about another day, and you do a lot of descent. There's a lot of climbing, and you these bits, that feeling, that heartbeat womp womp feeling, gets stronger as you go, as you get closer, and you kind of get to a point where there's like a rise. You've been kind of following like a goat track, kind of along a cliff, and kind of as it kind of rises to kind of a small peak, and you have the distinct feeling, Astrid, based on this feeling that you have, that perhaps your destination lies but yonder over the other side of this this rise.
I have a feeling it's just over this little hill, this rise over here. But I think we should maybe sneak up on them or have a plan. There were a
We
lot
should
of
perhaps
people.
sneak to the top of the rise, see what lays before us, and then formulate a strategy.
I like this idea. Please, if everyone would go ahead and make some stealth rolls as you move about in a stealthy manner.
22.
Okay. 19.
Wow.
So
Oh,
that's unusually stealthy.
17.
That was the 17. Wow. Vitar is a machine.
oh boy.
Stieg?
Maybe we should have him stay here.
A 2.
Someone just wrap Stieg in a tent and
man.
leave him at the bottom.
Let's
I
do
could-
this.
I could cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
How far? Okay.
Are we a bit too late for that, or is that still an option?
I'd allow it.
That
Well,
sounds like
Stieg, to be fair, Stieg takes one step and like crunches through the snow, and Vidar just puts his arm up and kind of stops him.
I was going to have him possibly roll down the other side of the mountain, but
Oh, no,
I won't.
Steve.
no.
For a stealth roll? For a stealth roll?
It'd be funny.
Bye, Stieg.
I mean, not like
We'll come back for you.
all the way down. No, not like down the mountain.
That'd be like a dex saving throw fail.
So if you guys stay within 30 feet of Vidar, you will benefit a plus 10 bonus to your stealth check, as
Nice.
long as we're stealthing.
So what does that make your total, Steve?
12.
12. Okay. Yeah. So you
Aw.
you kind of march a bit your way up this kind of peak in front of you, and kind of get down and get low and kind of crawl up to the top and peek over. And on the other side, you can see that, you know, it kind of goes down a bit, and then off you see like essentially two things that I don't have a way to show them next to each other, but you'll have to believe me that there are two things next to each other relatively in your mind space. You see a sort of set of possibly ruined buildings of some kind, and that you can see a camp, a number of tents. There's cook fires that are there, and it kind of is on the edge of like another cliff down and away further on. And then to the right of that, kind of to the north, this is all kind of facing west. To the north, you see you can kind of just make it out. It's due to perspective shifts, it's and ups rises and drops. It's you don't necessarily see all of this per se from your vantage point, but you can see further along this cliff is this pillar that kind of rises out of the mists below, and there are massive chains, and you can see faintly a light as of a glow at the center of this thing. And kind of through all of these, both of these places, more so in and about this kind of camp amongst these ruins, you see a number of different people. You can see, and then perhaps about just outside of this, no, where? Nope, nope, that's the wrong folder. Oh, that's why. Gotta get back to my tokens folder.
Get back.
Get back.
Get back to where you once belonged.
Tokens.
Now, when I had that vision,
Yeah.
and I saw that Jonton in chains.
Yep.
Now a Jonton is the giant?
Yeah. So frost, specifically, this is a frost Jotun, and they are visually different from mountain Jotun, but yeah, they're essentially super powerful giants.
Okay. And do I know, are those traditionally good or evil?
Traditionally, they are considered very bad.
Okay. And then I also saw a verger pounding at an anvil. And are those traditionally good or evil?
They're people.
They're people.
Did you say
Yeah,
mountain
they have. You would know because of your being of a Balder tradition. You would know that that some of them have worked on the side of the Aesir.
Mm-hmm.
Balder essentially contracted them to make a spear that would kill a the Superman version of Frost Jotun back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, this Jotun, wasn't he in chains?
Odd.
Did you say that before?
Yep. Yeah. Odd. Well, this. Oh, sorry.
This Jotun
yes.
here.
This
on the-
Jotun, and you can actually see this as you kind of look over this camp. You can see a number of people in and around the camp doing things. You can see there's a couple of people, shapes that you can really hardly make out, kind of at that kind of forage place. But then kind of off to the side of this camp, you can see this shape of this Jotun. It's kind of off to the side. You can see it's kind of appears to be like hunched, weighted down. From the distance you're at, it's difficult to necessarily determine. Like, you can't necessarily see chains really from this distance, but it's not like he's walking around hopscotch in it.
He's like hunched over, sitting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I
It's
get the
terrifying.
feeling that either the verger or the Jonton would be like an ally of some kind? I know I rolled pretty terribly.
Yeah,
but-
those were not necessarily feelings that you got.
Okay.
Um,
Just that they exist.
that they have some kind of part to play,
Okay.
for good or for ill.
I don't suppose I could set the Jonton free and then he would rampage through this village
I
and
would
like destroy all those people because he's
I would-
angry.
absolutely count on that happening. It might try to attack us too, but it is a creature of might and chaos. Should we unloose it and then make a way, he may do some work for us.
If you could even get that close.
I could send him a message.
Can he speak our language?
Oh. I don't know.
Unfortunately, my Jotun is very rusty.
Mine too.
You're able to figure out where to go for a drink in a Jotun town, where the library is, and how to get to the bathroom.
Pick a fight. I know many words in Jotun to make one angry.
I don't speak Jotun.
Even then, if he hears a voice in his head, what would that do?
I mean, you could try it, but you might want to,
Some might say words are air.
Save your strength.
Action will speak clearly.
There might be a fight ahead of us.
Oh, there's definitely a fight ahead of us. The real question is, need we go to the forge first, or should we deal with this camp?
What was that? Could we see people? Can we see people out?
You can, yeah. Yeah, you can see. And even this camp is probably it's probably at least a half mile away. Like it's a distance away, so you can see stuff, but it's a little.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. You're not seeing great resolution, right? But yeah, you can see. There's a number of people that you can see. Kind of going about whatever business it is that they're going about. You're able to make out.
Yeah, like an approximate number, like 10, 100.
Hang on, let me count. Yeah, you think you can see probably around 10 or so.
This is a
people.
lot.
Yeah, I had to think about this carefully.
If we fall upon the camp, it is best to do under the cover of night. If we go to the forge, we do not know what is there, or if there is even anything or anyone there. At which point we may be able to lay in wait for someone as well.
Do you see the one who has the sword that you seek? Do you see that individual?
Do I see that guy? Can I, as we're all
give me a
side of a
perception roll.
If we can find him, we've come here for that item. Perhaps we can catch him unawares and not alert the rest of the camp or that Jotun.
That is not my way, but it is the smart move.
12.
12. Yeah, from this distance, it's kind of difficult to pick out. You do know that you definitely do not see somebody waving around a blue sword.
It would be weird if he was.
But convenient.
It would be
I don't know,
convenient.
it depends on how old he is. If he was a little younger, you'd probably see him waving that thing around all the time.
Look at this shit! I got a sword! Woo!
Somebody fight me.
He has had it for 2 years now.
That's true.
Walking
He's
around
broken.
glamour
on
is
his
worn
shoulder.
off.
Right.
Got a magic sword.
I know another guy that walks around with
yeah.
a sword on his shoulder.
Do you?
Everyone who has a magic sword?
I have a magic sword.
If I had one, I
I
would.
do not wave it around.
Looks
Are you
funny.
really? Are you even trying? All right. So the chains, do they? Is that the way that one would access that forge? Is to climb the chains?
Yeah, kind of as you are kind of pondering that question, you can see that there are some. You can see a couple of figures over there, and it might be that they're like putting some planks on there. You can see that there appears to be like a broken piece of bridge, perhaps, that at one point there was a much more easy access to this.
Does it look like they are like being kept there? Like they don't have a way to leave that location, or does it look like they're workers and somebody like shipped him out there and they're just like, doing their regular
The
tasks?
people who are putting the boards out there, the planks out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell. I think from this distance, they appear, dressed in from this distance in a similar fashion to anyone else. Kind of you can see that many of them are probably wearing some kind of armor, but they're all wearing like good winter gear. It's fucking cold up here,
Hadn't noticed.
There's
Where's
definitely, I would say that you don't necessarily notice. There's no like, you're not seeing like, right? Like there's no like middle management, taskmasters, slave drivers, or anything like that.
Overseers.
Well,
Yeah,
if they're
overseers,
stuck
yeah.
out there on an island, then maybe they wouldn't need an overseer.
Where is the forge in relation to this?
It is.
Fortress?
It's probably like a few, maybe like a football field to the north along the cliff. So if you think about this kind of ruin, right? That kind of this edge that's like halfway. Why can't I ever figure out how pings? There we go.
Gotta double
Ping.
click, I think.
The ping is always super slow, or it's my mouse. Yeah. Along that edge is like a cliff, and then there's like an extra like solid bit where this last piece is, but this is like a big cliff, and then like a football field length, like 100 yards further along the cliff is that kind of forge outcroppy bit.
It's close enough that if we kick off anything at one location, unless we're being very careful, it will probably be heard at the other location.
I could send a message to the verger and ask them if they're being held against their will and if they would like assistance.
You are very much about sending people messages, aren't you?
Well, I don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? Maybe they're prisoners. If they're prisoners, maybe they want help.
Out of character. Wait, the verger? What is that?
The dwarf.
The dwarf. Oh, the dwarger. Okay. Do we see any dwarger from here?
Verger. Oh, they're the verger. Yes.
You do not. You saw
I have
one
experience
in
with
your
them.
vision. You do not see one. Here as you're watching, it's possible it is out of sight somewhere, but you do
I
not
wouldn't
see
have
one.
to see it.
That's true. No,
I
right.
just know
I'm
what he
I'm
looks
just saying
like.
in general, right?
The
I
one.
will say
Please.
this. Something that Gundar said earlier, that actions will speak most clearly. If we move in and a battle ensues, if you believe these Diverger to be possibly allies, then they will rise up and fight with us. If they
But
prove to be enemies, then they will rise up to fight against us, and we will discover that quickly. Sending them a message, if they are not allies, will alert them to something, that being us.
But you
Yep.
can send a message from really far away.
Yeah, they might not know. They might just get suspicious, I guess.
I
It
don't
is
think we
around.
want that.
It is a risk that may ruin the only advantage we have, which is that of surprise.
All right.
But at the same time, we don't want to roll in there and start blasting and stabbing and cutting and find out.
I know.
not
That is
clear
why I'm
what's
already
all
at a
bad.
disadvantage.
So last time we set a fire and we lured some of them out to put out the fire.
You want to set a fire?
Oh, the old fire trick.
the old lead him out with a fire trick.
I mean, we could set something on fire.
Stieg, can't you conjure some image of a yeti or some sort of mountain creature, one of these harpies, perhaps, that Gunder speaks of,
Perhaps a
to-
dire mountain goat.
to lure them, named Greg, to lure them away one by
That's
one.
I could
We-
make the
Oddly
noise,
specific.
you know, with
I can't do that.
thaumaturgy.
That could be
Well,
an
perhaps
option.
first we should make a decision. Whither do we think is best to approach first? The forge or the camp?
Well,
This will guide many of our decisions.
okay, so if we go to the forge, then the giant is between us, the forge, and the fort. It's between us and the fort if we try to leave there, right?
And also, it looks like we have to crawl out there on chains, and we know how well the bridge worked.
Why do we need to go out there? Looks treacherous.
Well, that isn't that where the forge is?
We
What
must
do we
find
need the
the
forge
man that
for?
has this sword. That is what
Do you
we're
have-
here for.
That
Do you
is
have
the
some metal
goal.
to work. I don't.
Do
We
I
could-
feel like my heartbeat is taking me to the forge or to this town, like to where the tents are?
So you didn't see the ruins. You didn't see this camp in your vision.
Oh. So it's taking me towards the forge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need to go. As I'm just like trying to like think of where to go. I'm like, wait, I feel. No, we have to go to the forge.
This makes things simpler. How do we sneak to the forge? In that case, I do not think we want to distract or create something that will warn them that alt is amiss. I think for that, our best maneuver is to sneak to the forge. At least that way, they do not see us coming if we have to cross the chains, and they cannot pepper us with arrows or bolts of flame or unholy hell ravens.
Agreed.
Do we want to wait?
So are
So
you
let's
kind of having this conversation all kind of
Mhm.
as you're kind of peeking
Foreheads propped up over the
Yeah,
cliffside.
Like laying
Yeah.
flat on the snow.
As you're kind of discussing this, you can see that no, I don't want that one.
Yeah,
There's
fuck
a
that
number
guy.
of people. There's a number of people kind of milling around, and doing some different things in this kind of low bit here, and you can see that two people kind of step out of this big tent in the back, and one of them, Astrid, you kind of you get a good feeling is that guy. He's a big dude. You can see obviously there have been some cosmetic changes, over in the intervening years, as he has probably gotten a new set of armor or clothes or whatever. But like you kind of know the cut of his jib anywhere, as they would say. And with him is kind of next to him is a smaller man, not Vergar, who has a big old fucking beard, bald, like no hat. And when you kind of see these, when you see this guy, as you look over this guy, Astrid, as he kind of steps out, and they start kind of walking down into this lower section and kind of start making their way across the camp. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's almost like your like fucking GPS unit kind of turns off, like goes like skips and doesn't necessarily work, and then you're like, that's weird, and you kind of maybe you like focus, like you like look to yourself and kind of shift to see if something's wrong with you, and kind of shift your attention away from him, and then you feel it kind of again.
What does that person look like that is given messing
he
with
is,
my abilities?
Yeah, he's a shorter, shorter than this guy that he's standing next to, a smaller man, maybe around 5 feet in height. He has a large beard, but even in this temperature is where has no hat on, and he is very bald. He carries a staff. There is a large nubbin of some kind of black rock upon it.
Mm.
You can clearly see that from this distance.
I'm gonna like squish over next to Vidar, and I'm gonna say that one. That is the magic user.
I see him. This is the one that has your sword?
No, but he's bad news. I can feel it.
Does not look
Are
like
they heading
good news.
towards us?
No, they are. They make, as you are kind of talking, they're kind of moved. Obviously, they're doing their own thing. They're living their own lives, you know.
Their best life.
Living their best lives.
They're living their best life. Yeah,
They're the heroes of their own stories.
and they kind of make their way over to this Jotun,
What are they doing?
and you can see that the Jotun kind of starts a bit like, like you get started awake, kind of jumping feeling, or visual, and kind of swings its head towards them, and you can see that it tries to rise and move, but it appears to be straining against something that is hard to make out, and isn't able to rise to its full height. Although
Sorry. I was going to say at
Go
about
ahead.
this time, Iceland is going to do sort of a high flyover to see if she can get a better view. And if it's within 100 feet, I will look through her eyes. I specifically would like to see if this giant is what's restraining it.
Okay. Yeah, give me both, we'll say let's make perhaps a stealth roll for her, as well as a perception roll.
All right. So 7 stealth and perception will be a 21.
The stealth roll was a really easy roll since it's a bird and it's flying very high.
It's a snowy owl.
Exactly. And she kind of flies over, and is able to kind of get a sight, and you see a vision. Through her vision, you can see that there are like some large chains of some kind, kind of holding this giant, and through her eyes you're able to see the reason that it's difficult for you to see them from your distance, from where you are, because they do not appear to be made out of what you would consider to be a metal. They appear almost of some kind of more like a translucent construction. It's transparent aluminum. That's right. We're bringing it back to Star Trek 4.
Or ice.
Or perhaps ice, or perhaps these are crystal chains. You never know. I mean, these are all options that exist to us here in Dungeons and Dragons.
I'll relay that information to the group.
But with her kind of expert bird vision, you're able to kind of make out. It's hard to see even for her, but she's able to get an eyeball, especially with that perception roll.
What do you think, Astrid?
I don't know what we should do.
Perhaps we should wait till nightfall and then make our way to the forge. If that is where you're being called. It will be difficult to get there in the light.
Does it look like you walk from this place to the forge, or is it, how do you access?
Yeah,
the
you
forge?
can see
Like paths leading.
yeah, and yeah, you can see that there is this. Going to that map doesn't really help, but there's definitely, like, you can pick out a trail that they've been using for however long they've been here, but there's an obviously evident trail that they've been using. The terrain, outside, in other places the terrain is probably rough. The snow may or may not be of varying depths.
Mm.
If only you had some sleds.
We have polks,
I have my skis.
and
Mm.
we all have snowshoes, which we've likely been using in the mountains.
I think moving in when it's dark is probably the best idea.
Wunder is just watching what's happening with the Jotun while they all
Okay.
discuss that.
It looks like there might be some conversing that is happening. The Jotun appears to be, you can see from this distance that the Jotun appears to be saying something. You can hear just the barest of this on the wind. You can hear raised, like, booming voice. You can see that after a little while, after like maybe a minute or so, this bald figure kind of raises his staff, and there is some kind of magery that happens, that there's like an energy beam effect that kind of goes between his staff and the Jotun, and the Jotun kind of struggles and
Can I do an
does his-
insight check as to what is going on there?
That's torture. I'll give you that one.
There's, yeah, I think it's from this distance. It's going to be without, like, using perhaps distance viewing technology, majors, or the bird again. It's you're not really going to be able to, like,
Okay. So
zero in
they
on
had some
what
kind
is
of a
happening.
conversation, and then the magic user zapped him,
Did something, yeah.
and he
Did
didn't
some
like
kind of
it, and it was
magic.
painful.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Jotun has something they need.
They kind of put their heads together, kind of after that, and then start to, after like a minute or so, kind of start to head back towards the camp.
So those chains, you don't think that they're regular metal? So there's some kind of magic thing? It could be dispelled?
I believe we would have to get close to find out.
I am beginning to come around to the idea of messaging the Jotun.
You are?
Yes,
Okay.
especially after seeing what I saw through Iceland's eyes. It is clearly held here against its will. And like Gunder says, they are trying to pry information or something from it.
What?
I do
What
not
do
know
we-
if it will help us or simply run away, but I do not like the idea of leaving it here. Either
what
way.
do we know about Jotun?
If it has something they want, helping it is by definition a boon to us.
Will it understand us?
It will understand freedom.
Freedom
Yeah, but it could just be a bunch of gibberish it hears in its ears.
Tell us, Astrid, how does this message work? Will it hear your voice in a way that it will understand you?
I will look that up.
She pulls out a little Rolodex, starts flipping through it.
So things that you generally know about Jotun. They are offspring and or relatives of Odd, the Jotun that challenged the gods in days of old. Frost Jotuns bring a reign of terror with them wherever they go, as most of them smash and crush into villages, is specifically the language that it uses here, and crush into villages and eat their residents. They are mostly excluded from society.
So I have a feeling that if it is any creature that is bare minimally intelligent, will be able to understand the meaning of my message. With an intelligence score of at least 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I could give it a shot. I guess technically I don't have to speak the same language. It would understand it. Or at least the gist of it.
We could try it. I don't see the...
What should I say, though?
That's a good question.
It's a very good question.
Because if we just ask it why the evil magic users are keeping it there, then he'll be like, I'm not going to tell you either. This could be a trap.
Perhaps
don't
we
we-
keep it simple. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We keep it simple. If you wish freedom, do not attack us when we come to you.
Yes, we can simply ask it if it will allow us to help it to be
Do
free.
we know that we can help it?
We could try.
What are those chains? I've never seen anything like that.
They appear to be some kind of magical bondage. I don't know if it can be dispelled or if you even have that ability.
Not in this
The
game.
other important thing to remember, and I don't know if you just mentioned this, but you do have to be within 120 feet of it.
Nope, not for sending.
Oh, sending. Sorry. I was looking at message.
Yeah, message is
I
different.
was saying to send it a message, but via sending.
Fair enough. Then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
That
I could-
nomenclature is not well done.
Oh, you're on
for those
another
spells.
plane? Message.
Yep. I have AT&T. Suck it.
Right?
I can call anywhere.
Is that how AT&T works now?
Wait,
No,
so
they don't-
if Gunder's wife was dead, could I still message?
Not around
No.
here.
Ah,
Yes. Technically,
Is that
yes.
a different plane? Weird.
Yep.
yeah, technically.
Yep.
Technically.
If you're in Valhalla or if you're in Helheim, even as a dead person, you're there and you could be contacted.
think you have to know this person, don't you?
Maybe you still have to know
You have to
them.
be
Yeah,
familiar
you
with
can't-
them.
I do have to, but yeah, Chad said that I have to have seen them or know them. Not, he can't just draw a picture for me. And
Stick
or-
figure.
Which is
Or have
good
someone
because Gunther has
impersonate them.
no artistic talent.
Okay.
Just drunk dialing random people.
In hell.
Okay, what
Hello!
So you're gonna
Hello,
say
you Gunter's wife.
you're gonna say hello. Do you want to be free? Please don't kill us if we help you.
Hmm.
Something like
to that
that.
effect. Yes.
Yes, roughly.
Okay.
Maybe it also knows how we could free it.
All right. I am going to send a message. Is somebody going to count for me?
Yes. Do it.
Hello. You seem to be in need of assistance. Would you like me to free you? Would you not eat me and my friends if I free you?
How do we free it?
You have 4 words left.
Oh, how do
You can reply to this
we
message.
free? How make free?
How make free?
That's only 3 words. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That was pretty good. We could practice more though next
Yeah.
time.
Is this the thing we aim to practice at?
Maybe we should write it down, like,
Yes.
Yeah, next time maybe we should write it down.
Give me a spell attack roll, please. Astrid.
Oh shit, you're gonna kill his brain.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
That would
nice.
be a 26.
Hell yeah. That's how it's
You
good.
you cast your spell and you speak your words. And
Do I speak it in Asgardian?
Oh boy.
No.
It sounds like Icelandic. It's weird. You just got gravel in your mouth.
I mean, do you?
No.
Well, I would speak it in the language it understands.
Yeah.
Giant.
Because you hear the messages, mine recognizes you as a sinner. If it knows you, it can answer it. And I'm not. Yeah, it doesn't really say. Well, it doesn't matter. Language doesn't matter. It's
Okay.
magic. But what happens?
Language is magic.
You feel. You can feel that as this message is like traveling the distance, right? As you're bridging the gap, there is some kind of resistance. There is some kind of perhaps barrier, but you break on through to the other side.
Damn.
Yeah. You take another brick out of the wall, as it were.
Throw it at them.
Yeah, with your natural 20. And you, I guess, what language? So you speak. What language? I know
I
that language
speak
doesn't matter, but
Common
what
and
languages-
Asgardian.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I have a feeling that I wouldn't naturally know when I was speaking Asgardian. It would just kind of something that I do.
I would say that you would know that if you were attempting to perhaps not get eaten by a Jotun, you would probably not, as much as you are something that it obviously eats,
Yeah.
you would not want to use a language of a people that it strives against, specifically
Dang
like the
it.
Asgardians.
Why does everybody hate my people? All right, that's fine.
'Cause they're dead.
I'll use common.
Yeah, and that's fine. And you hear a strained reply also in Ostris, the common tongue. And it oh, what does it say? How does it reply? Give me a persuasion roll. Just
yeah.
Just to give me a.
Let me advantage on up there.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't really need it anyway. But 19 plus this is what I'm good at.
24,
23.
23. Nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You hear this kind of strained reply. The voice is strained, almost like it is forcing itself to be able to communicate. And it says, I would welcome aid. They have a key to these chains, and you hear it, and then it says they seek my heart.
It says somebody has a key to the chains and they want his heart, which sounds like really painful. So I don't understand how they can be arguing with him like, give me your heart. And he's like, no, because then I'll die.
They are perhaps a magical being and it may not work the way you think it does.
Really? People are weird.
Yes. Yes.
Multiplayer
we-
people are weird.
We roll in there, kill them all. No,
Or
we
I-
need a plan.
how do we figure out which one has a key? Ooh, I have a spell for that.
I have a simpler solution. We kill them all and check their bodies.
Okay, but I have
That's what-
locate object.
Well, do-
Your spells are a potent thing we must keep in reserve and husband the strength of. Killing, as some might say, is much easier.
All right.
why don't we check out the forge first, right? That was the plan. And then
Well,
I think the plan has perhaps changed now.
Yes, it's...
full frontal assault.
I do not think that is a good plan. But I think there is something to be said for freeing the Jotun, which in turn means we need to deal with the camp. I believe this is again the cover of night will be of boon to us, because 'tis easier to take a few sentries and then perhaps light their tents on fire and drive them out than to have them all come out upon us in the day.
Astrid, this sword that we seek, its wielder. What are we up against? What is this item and how can it be used to stop us in our quest? Do you know much about it?
I don't actually know a lot about it. I didn't make it, but my temple did. I know the kinds of things that we're good at making and blessing. So possibly something that would be resistant against cold. Something magical, for sure. But I know that the sword was made by Diverger. We
So
just
there is
imbue things.
the sword wielder, and then as you pointed out, there is also this magic user that we must eliminate.
Yes.
Those perhaps are the two targets that we should seek first.
My only information about the man with the sword is that I do remember him slaughtering some of my friends.
I do believe that he will reveal himself rather quickly when we do attack. Perhaps we target the mage.
Well,
This as well, yes.
gonna have to sneak in there then. It's a fortress.
If we could somehow sneak in and capture or subdue that mage, I think that would be the best thing to do, because I feel like he has the ability to negate my magical abilities.
I agree with you, and I would recommend perhaps Gunder could subdue him with murder.
Yes.
The most potent kind of duel.
Something sharp and pointy.
I could get us in as we snuck to this position here with the help of ranger magic that could get us close. Stieg, your ranged attacks could help, perhaps, from a distance, do you think?
Yes. With, I could definitely try to position myself somewhere, with the advantage, but I don't know. I mean, this thing looks like multi-leveled, right? These are stairs.
The ruin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so you
You go up
so yeah,
to
it's
this
multi-leveled,
first level.
but it's yeah, so the first level, kind of second level,
Mhm.
and then the back where there doesn't seem to be anybody really faffing about with that is the third level. But there's no like it's this is just kind of the remains of like foundational bits.
Oh, okay. There's no
Like there's no, yeah, they're not going inside. There's no like inside, there's no doorways. It's just kind of ruined, like
Chad, which
ruined
one is the
walls.
mage? Of these two tokens, which one is the mage?
Green
the
one.
smaller one, the green one, the green blue one.
The one with the M.
Got it. Okay.
Well, I mean, I could make a noise, or I could make flames bigger or change color. I don't know, something to distract or.
Gunder, you are a tactician. What do you recommend we do?
Gunnar just kind of thinks for a second, because there is no cover between us and them. If we go and they can see us, they will fire at us and we will be pincushioned. We have to become close to them before they are aware anything is happening. A distraction will be good if we come to a point where we need their attention elsewhere. But my feeling is, if we go in the night, deal with their sentries, take them unawares, we will have better advantage. If and when that goes horribly wrong, because these things always do.
That is true.
The illusions and the noises, especially if they are placed somewhere we are not, will cause more chaos, distract them, make them think there are more of us than they really are, not know where we are. We form a strike like 16, but would be better if they think we are 32.
I agree. Do we have a plan then?
Wait till night, sneak in, take as many as we can before they are aware, and then unleash hell.
Remove the mage from play.
Yes.
How?
So
That is
can we?
that is always a rule.
So let's
Yes.
observe
Yes.
them
Sorry,
as
Steve.
long as we can, to see, like, if they have, which tents are whose, and where they go, and where the sentries are posted, and then
Okay.
wait for nightfall.
Yeah, so are you all just gonna sit and watch, or are you gonna kind of take turns?
We'll use Iceland as best we can to give us, a good perspective on what's happening there.
Mhm.
Gunder is going to watch as long as he can, definitely, because he's, concerned about all this.
Hmm?
It's hard to sleep when you're watching people that might overrun you and kill you. So we'll just stay and watch.
Okay.
We will kill some of
Um,
them, no doubt.
So you watch their goings-ons, and over the next couple hours or whatever, kind of work continues at the forge. There's kind of a makeshift, if rickety, sort of bridge that is kind of made across the near set of those chains. There's a number of piles of stuff about the main camp that got moved that I didn't put tokens down for on the map, but there's guys moving about and doing this work. Towards the after a few hours, a couple of not these two dudes, but a couple of like other guys kind of come out of the smaller of the two tents on the second platform with a smaller, darker third figure kind of between them, and kind of take them over to a wall opposite, or maybe down here by the snow pile, and they kind of stand there.
Do we think that it's a sacrifice?
No, he has to go to the bathroom.
Oh, different
Yeah.
kind of sacrifice.
They kind of stand there for a little bit,
But that means there's a prisoner.
and you're like, what is happening? And then Gunder and Vidar and Stieg are like, oh, that guy's peeing.
Mm.
He definitely has the stance of a guy who's peeing. This smaller figure is, I don't want to say that anyone has specifically what your experiences are with Dwergar, but they are not an uncommon people in Svilland. There aren't really any that live in Molgor, but it is not uncommon that you would have seen them or seen some of them or interacted with any of them. But this is either a fat child or a Dwergar.
I
but kind
think
of
that if
between the two.
I have not personally dealt with them, I know people who have personally dealt with them.
Gunder has dealt with him, I think, in his travels. So he's like, yeah, okay.
And then these two guys kind of, after a minute or so, kind of lead him back to that tent, and then the two kind of go back to sitting around that fire, like outside of the tent. People eat and do go about doing their things. There's not a whole lot of. There's like one guy who kind of like you can obviously tell is like standing sentry. And that guy kind of switches out every now and then, but you get the feeling from watching them that they don't, aside from like scary mountain goats or whatever, they don't necessarily expect to run into anybody up here. So they're not being perhaps as watchful as they could be.
They haven't met Gray. So
And then
Peter.
after a few hours, the kind of these two dudes and maybe a group of like 4 or 5 kind of begin. They kind of like come down. These two guys come down and we'll just call him Bloodless, as that's how he is colloquially known.
Mhm.
This guy, he's cool.
Big.
That does not look like a human.
Says something and gathers like 4 or 5 dudes, and they make their way over to this Jotun,
We may need to
and
act.
and he kind of strains again. The bald guy holds up his hands and his staff, and you can see that there's like a eerie sort of light that passes between his staff, and you can clearly see these chains outlined by like a sickly blue fire, and he kind of starts to move, and they start to move him. They've got these 4 dudes have their weapons drawn kind of in a ring around him a bit, and they start to kind of precariously in an awkward sort of way move towards the forge.
We need to take them now between the forge and the
Ambush
camp.
And I think that is where we will end for the evening. Perhaps on the cusp, on the very eve, as one would say. On the
Wait, that
eve
shit's
of
about to
action.
go off.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Cool.
there we have it.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
That's a session. It's been a
It is a
while.
sesh.
It's good to be back. Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us today, this most blessed of days. Thank you, my players, for coming back and playing with me.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Missed you, buddy. Congrats on the publication. I'll put a link to a dark kind of revelry. So cool.
It's a good one shot.
Love that name.
Yeah, it's very
Thank you,
fun.
Thank you. I have to give props to Jerry Holkins from Penny Arcade about the name, because if you watch Acquisitions Incorporated, he likes to say, as he's describing something that's probably not good, he'll be like, imagine like a dark shirt. And that's kind of how that's kind of where I came up with how I came.
It was like
about that
revelry,
name.
but a dark kind.
Imagine like a dark revelry.
Okay.
Speaking of revelry, it looks like Phoenix is live, so we're gonna raid into Phoenix.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Everyone, join us in
yeah.
this raid if you would like. Give them some emotes. Join us next week as we get back into Saltmarsh, and that's going to be super fun.
Woo.
And then, of course, join us again for session -4 to the end of this section of what this is.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Let's raid.
Here we go.